Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the Icknield Way. I'm on me Todd today for this section. I'm in Royston again, where I finished the last section, part 4 of the Icknield Way, with my mate Richard quite some time ago. A lot has happened since then. Basically, Richard's unable to do any more sections with me or do any kind of walks and camps for a while. Just a few family issues, but he's okay though, he's fine, so don't worry. You'll be seeing him again on the channel at some point. It's about 8:15 in the morning. I was up at 6 a.m. And I drove to Linton, which is the end point of this section today. This section is to be 18 miles, the longest section of the entire Icknield Way. A subscriber named Ben very kindly gave me a lift from Linton back to Royston. So of course then I'm going to walk to Linton and pick my car up tomorrow at some point. So I will be wild camping, hopefully. We're not forecast any rain or anything like that. Apparently it's just meant to be really cloudy and a bit miserable looking today. We're just heading along the main road into Royston. We'll be going past the Royston, I believe it's called, and the Royston cave as well, which I visited a long time ago with Candice. I'll put a little link to the video up here somewhere. Yeah, I've got my Oex Salamanda hoot bivvy with me for tonight's camp. The reason I'm here so early is because of course we've got limited daylight hours at the moment. In order for me to find a decent place to wild camp tonight, I've got to walk about 16 miles today. I've got to do pretty much the entire section before it gets dark. There's a couple of good places between Great Chesterford and Linton. I'm not going to find anywhere to camp along the section sort of this side of the M11 motorway. I've done a lot of research into this section, and trust me, wild camping is a no-go pretty much, so it's going to be tricky anyway. So wish us luck. We're pretty much in Royston now anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. It's going to be good, but really I just want to get this 18 mile section done and out of the way. So enough talking, let's get walking. Although sited at the junction of the Icknield Way and Ermine Street, the A1198 to the north and the A10 to the south, the recorded history of Royston only goes back as far as the early Middle Ages. The Royce Stone, which is probably a glacial erratic from the Ice Age, is believed to be the base for the former Royce's Cross at the crossroads, although today there is no through route from the south down the High Street. As the town developed, this became Royce's Town and eventually Royston. Royston Cave is a unique man-made cave with medieval carvings cut into the chalk, which has been associated with the Knights Templar. The cave is open to the public from Easter to September, Saturdays, Sundays, bank holidays and Wednesdays in August, and is well worth a visit. Just want to quickly point out, probably at the time of posting this video, I haven't posted part 4, the previous section, which was Ickleford to Royston, I believe. Yeah, it was, yeah. The reason being is that is stuck on the hard drive, my broken external hard drive. So thank you everyone that's donated and shared the GoFundMe page. But a lot of people have said, we want you to put that money back into into the channel. So if you're happy with that, then I'll do just that. If you're not, just let me know and I'll give you your money back. I thought, you know what, let's just carry on with the Icknield Way, and I'll just post sort of this and the next, a few parts as I do them. Just keep you in the loop, because it sort of seems a bit strange that it skipped from part 3 to part 5, so that's the reason. It's really, really annoying. That's probably the most annoying thing about the hard drive breaking, is that I've lost that part of the Icknield Way. But there are photos on my Instagram account of the section. It's really nice walking this time of the morning, because like town centres are so quiet, you've got the place to yourself. It's pretty good. It's 9:30 and we're on this track, which is the Icknield Way, it says, all the way past Noon's Folly Farm, and just past that will be the 50-mile mark for the entire Icknield Way. So it's 110 miles in total. I really need to be in Great Chesterford and the other side of the M11 motorway by 2 o'clock, 2:30 latest, and it's 9:30 now. And then I've got to carry on walking past Great Chesterford to find a couple of little spots near the Icknield Way that Ben recommended. So yeah, we've got a lot of walking ahead of us. One of the highest villages in Cambridgeshire, Hayden is familiar to many as the home of one of the Wood Green animal shelters. The church suffered bomb damage during the war, and the tower is now conspicuous as it was reconstructed in red brick. A really kind woman just showed me where the water tap was on the outside of the church, so I filled up with a little bit more water, which is good. Not loads though. I'm going to fill the majority of my water up at Great Chesterford sort of before I camp. That's the last sort of settlement before I camp, so it makes sense to not carry all your water for camp now, so I just top up as and when I need it. So I thought I'd just get a bit just to drink along the way. Yeah, that was Hayden. A brief whistle stop tour of it. We are leaving Cambridgeshire via this footbridge and we're entering Essex. Yeah, we're also following part of the Icknield Way, which is another long distance route in the area, and judging by the name, you guessed it, it's linking up Harlow and Cambridge, and the route actually goes in a figure of 8, and that is the symbol for it, which is pretty cool. I think it's one of my favourite footpath signs. And then of course the Icknield Way with the Stone Age axe. Anyways, It's cross into my home county. Well, I think we're going to be alternating back and forth between the two. Just arrived in Chrysal and it's coming up to midday, so I'm making good time at the moment, good progress. It's kind of about where I want it to be at the moment, and I've just had a little energy bar, sorted out my water bottles, and I'm going to have some beef jerky. It's 1 o'clock and we're kind of on the edge of the village of Elmdon, and so far on this section it is without doubt, in my opinion, the nicest village. Really nice. You know, when you're on a walk and you come across a little village with like thatched cottages, a little green, loads of old signs, a nice church, and you just go, that's a bit special, isn't it? Really nice. Yeah, this, like west of the M11 motorway, is like the busiest section, busiest part of this section, I would say. I've seen runners, cyclists, dog walkers, the whole lot. But once I'm over the M11 and heading towards Linton at the end, that's where it's quietest, so that's where we're going to try and camp, somewhere between Great Chesterford and Linton, and about 3 hours of daylight. Still got quite a way to go. In summer this would be a breeze, you know, because it wouldn't get dark till like 9-10 o'clock at night. How cool is this? So just off of this farm track to Freewood Farm is this. Now that is marked on the map as a tumuli, or a ancient burial mound. So we're sort of talking an uneducated guess, Bronze Age. But look, you can actually see clear as day, it's got this ditch around it here, and then the mound going up here. That is so cool. That is really well preserved. Bronze Age, Stone Age burial mound. Usually you see them on maps marked tumuli or tumulus, whatever. They're usually ploughed out or whatever, flattened. But that is incredibly well preserved. I can't stop looking at it. Amazing. There was a curious incident here in 1849. Nehemiah Perry was a local landowner, noted for his habit of keeping a stone jar of brandy conveniently between his knees when at supper. He married a gypsy girl, and after they were separated, there was constant trouble between him and her relatives. One night in March that year, Abraham Green, a noted poacher, broke into the house and was shot by Perry. The inquest was held in the house, with the corpse still present for the jury to inspect. The famous corpse was later set up in the church for people to see, and one lady tried to cure a wart by touching it. Over the brow of the hill over there, to cross over the motorway, the M11 of course, and then a railway line, and then I believe we're in Great Chesterford. I nearly forgot what it was called then. I reckon so far it's 2:15. I reckon since 8 o'clock this morning I've done about 12 miles. I know it's approximately 14 to Great Chesterford. I'm quite proud of that. I didn't think I'd make it this far today before it got dark. I mean, that being said, I've got an hour and 45 minutes of good daylight left. You know, it'll be dark by 4:30, so I've not got long. Keep everything crossed for me, people. Keep it all crossed. If you can't cross it yourself, get someone else to cross it for you. That is probably the longest field I've ever walked across. Finally, it has ended. These two hedges that I'm walking between actually mark the line of the old Roman road from Brothing to Great Chesterford. I've just found out in the guidebook. Nice. It's 3 p.m. and I've arrived in Great Chesterford. At the latest I wanted to be in Great Chesterford by 3 or 2, so 2 o'clock would have been better, but I'll take 3 p.m. so yeah, I've got about an hour of daylight left, and I've got to find somewhere to fill up my water bottles as well. Although there are now no visible signs, this was a walled town with an important military fort of 14 acres in Roman times. Some of the stout defensive walls built by the 4th century were still standing in the late 18th century. They were robbed over the years for building stone and hardcore for the roads. Many of the finds from the Roman town are in the Saffron Walden Museum. Right, it's gone 3:30 now. Bit later than I wanted it to be, but good news, I've got water, 3 litres worth from someone's house, like an outside mains tap. The woman thought I was crazy, but you know, she went, "Are you going to be walking in the dark?" I went, "No, I'll probably camp somewhere between here and Linton." They just don't get it, do they? We're leaving Great Chesterford now and crossing over this little B road and then up a bit of a hill. Great fun. I could walk all the way to Linton and go home, but that wouldn't be fun, would it? You've all switched on this video to watch the wild camp, I know it, so don't lie. "Oh, I love your day walks, Tom, more than the wild camps." Nah, you like the walking of wild camping, didn't you? Let me tell you a little secret. So do I. Ben has recommended another potential spot for me to camp at, and I think I've just found it. Literally, the Icknield Way is here. There's farm fields there. There's this very thin copse, and then there's farm fields the other side of that going downhill, so it's nice views. And yeah, in this little copse here, there's like a flat area, and there's some cotton Easter bushes, I think he said they were, that can kind of block you from view. So this could be quite a good one, this, and I'd rather do this than press on to the other spots that he recommended. So this looks pretty good. It looks flat in there. I've just got to find a way in. There hasn't been hills or anything, but it's the mileage. The mileage is what's done me today. I'm absolutely shattered. Okay, we are in. Wasn't too difficult actually, and it does open up a little bit in here. There's some flat ground and stuff, and you are, you know, obscured from the footpath. I'm going to get set up and have a sit down and a drink. I am knackered. So here is my latest shelter acquisition, the Oex Bush Pro Salamanda hoop bivvy. I did the Canterbury loop of the North Downs Way with this, and an Oex expedition tarp. So far I've been impressed by this bivvy. It is a little bit heavier than the Rab Ridge Raider hoop bivvy. This is about 1.3 kilos. The Rab is just under a kilo. I think it's about a kilo actually, but of course the Rab is a lot more money, although I still only paid £150 for mine, and it was pretty much brand new, but they cost 270. This you can get for about 100 quid, but I got this once again brand new when there was a sale on for £75. Pretty good. Anyways, I'm going to get it set up. Don't expect like a full review or anything on this tonight, because it's not really the time or the place, is it really? I'll at least give you my thoughts on it. I like it anyway, it's not bad. It's only about 5:30. The bivvy I've had set up for probably nearly an hour now. I'll probably throw that camouflage scrim netting over the front of the bivvy before I go to sleep tonight. I've got the little stool again. I do like that stool, it's good. Although I think, given how tired I am, I could do with a chair with a back to it, but it would have meant carrying more weight. I don't want to do that. I've just made a little Tetley's tea. I'm having for dinner a beef bolognese made with tomatoes and red wine from Look What We Found. These were kindly given to me by Gary, the groomer. BCB Fire Dragon gel fuel stove and my big 900ml pot. To go with the bolognese, I'm going to have just a mugshot pasta, a tomato and herb, and then I've got a little sticky toffee pudding, like just a normal one you get in the shops, and just chuck it in the water and boil it. Shoe covers on, and a spare pair of dry socks and some warm Arctic socks on as well. Bottle of meths, because I've also got a small alcohol stove. Just, I know, as a backup, but that'll probably do me really. Then ciders, these were kindly given to me by Ben. Alska Peach Mango and Lime, 4%, that's from Aldi's, one of the best. Rosie's Pig Rhubarb Cloudy Cider. Cheers Ben, you've been an absolute star today. Ben's been kind of relaying information to me about places I can camp along the route, places I can get water from. It's just been really good. It's sort of like having a support crew for like a long distance trek or something. It's been brilliant. So yeah, cheers mate, I owe you one, and we should definitely do a wild camp and a walk together at some point. It's about 9:30 now. I've been laying in the bivvy for probably an hour and a half, just watching a bit of YouTube. Got some good signal. Chatted to Candice, she's alright. I'm just doing my sleepy time tea, which will be in that little fold up mug there, and boiling some water in the pot again on the BCB gel fuel stove. Reliable little stove, cheap as well. simple to operate. I'm also heating up that little pot, which is a sticky toffee pudding. So this is a cheaper alternative to like Wayfarer desserts. You just, you know, pierce a little hole in the film lid. Yeah, you can get 2 of those. I don't know how much. Really cheap. I mean, I can't remember what make they are, but I know that's a sticky toffee pudding anyway. Pick them up in most shops, can't you? Don't get the ones that you have to keep in the fridge. Get the ones that you can just store in a cupboard, because, you know, then they'll last longer, of course. Bit bulky though, that's the only thing, you know, because it's a round object. It's not like a flat kind of meal like a Wayfarer chocolate pudding, say. They are good, but they're pricey. These are a lot cheaper. And if that's not enough, you just have 2 of them. Or 3 or 4. There we have it. One rather small, undersized sticky toffee pudding. Look at that. Oh. That's bloody good. I just wish there was more of it. Oh, that is good. It's just gone 10 PM and I'm going to crawl inside the bivvy again and get an early night, I think. I've got one piece of camo scrim netting and it's covered the entire bivvy from head to toe, which is quite good. I probably don't really need it, to be honest. I mean, I'm far enough out of the way here. The Salamanda's a very low profile shelter anyway, and it's fairly stealthy colours. I mean, you know, it's not like bright orange. Yeah, overall impressed with the Salamander, definitely. If you're thinking of starting out with a hoop bivvy, or you think of getting into using hoop bivvies, I'd recommend this one because it's cheap but it's good quality. So if you feel you like them, you could then maybe upgrade to, you know, a Rab Ridge Raider, something a little bit more expensive. But to be honest, this will do the job. The only thing, as I say, is the weight. 1.3 kilos. You can get some decent lightweight little tents for that kind of weight, and you've got more space in them, haven't you? But nah, it's a good bivvy. I'm liking it. Right, I'm going to get all the stuff inside and I will see you in there. One of the things about bivvies, even hoop bivvies, is once you're in, you're in. Sort of, you have to get yourself sort of sorted out. You know, initially getting the sleeping bag liner into the sleeping bag, get yourself in, and then drag the stuff that you're bringing in with you in from, you know, just outside the door. Get the door zipped up around that stuff, and then you're in, really. For the gentlemen out there, if you need to use the loo in the night, I recommend having a piss bottle, maybe like a collapsible sort of, you know, water bottle, like a platypus or something. Up to you if you want the wide neck variety or if you want a challenge. I'm liking this bivvy. I've not had any condensation issues with it. There is like an air vent down at the foot box. I just find it breathes really well. The material feels quite thick, quite strong. The stitching looks really good in here. And it's actually quite dark as well. Like in the morning, you know, when the sun starts coming through, like the trees and stuff, you don't really get loads of light coming in. It's quite dark in here, which is really good. You know, if you want to get a good night's sleep and you don't want to be woken up by the bright lights sort of thing, it's nice. So overall I like it, and it's got kind of like a bathtub floor as well to it. Nice sort of simple setup, relatively lightweight, I guess, minimalist I would say more, and it works well for winter providing there's no rain, although I'm sure this bivvy would work fine in the rain as well, but I'm yet to test it in that. So, but apart from that, yeah, it's toasty warm in it. It is a 4-season shelter, I believe anyway. It's low profile, it's a small area, so you're kind of insulated, you know, from outside. It's a smaller area to insulate, sorry, that's what I mean. That's what I like about hoop bivvies. You get in them and you think, I'm going to freeze to death, and you realise they're actually really, really warm. Whereas, so like a big roomy tent, it's a bigger area to insulate, so it's not going to be as warm. So for that reason, I do like hooped bivvies, and you can shut yourself in them and zip them up. Whereas like a normal bivvy, a faceless bivvy, you still got to leave your face out and stuff so you can breathe and that, so it doesn't, you know, fill up with condensation. And I just find I don't sleep as well in those. Whereas the hoop bivvy and of course the tent are my go-to things. I can always combine either with a tarp if need be. I should get a decent night's sleep. I'm pretty tired, so should drift off pretty quick. Enough yawning. I'll see you in the morning. Night, everyone. Morning all. It's 7:30. I've seen a couple of sets of runners and a couple out walking just through the trees over there, walk along the Icknield Way. I could see them, but I'm pretty sure they couldn't see me. At least I didn't see them look over or anything. So I'm well out of sight here. People aren't out looking for wild campers or anything, so unless you're actually deliberately looking into this little copse, this little woodland, yeah, to specifically look for wild campers, you're not going to see people, are you? You're just going to be going about your own business, going for a walk or a run. It's really foggy out today. I can barely see through the trees out across the fields there. It's so foggy. I slept really well in the bivvy. I've just had breakfast. I'm ashamed of what I ate. I had 2 Pop-Tarts, a Rice Krispie square bar, and I've just made a cup of tea. So not the most nutritious breakfast, nothing particularly healthy or good, but it's just good quick energy, something simple that I haven't got to cook. But I have to have a hot drink in the morning, especially out camping. I'm not going to hang around too long. I'm going to literally, I've already started packing away. I don't want to hang about here too long because it's between 2 farm fields and the Icknield Way. Not ideal, I know, but in this instance, you know, where's the farmhouse? Where's the farmhouse for me to go and knock on the door and say, do you mind if I sleep in that little bit of woodland next to the Icknield Way tonight? That's the problem I have when they go, you should seek permission of the landowner first. It's like, right, where do you go? I think if you're quiet and sensible and discreet, you don't leave any rubbish, you don't light any fires, you don't damage trees, or, as they say, leave no trace. And it's almost like you're invisible, like it's like you were never there. I think if you're like that, I can't see the problem with it. I know there's a minority of people that will ruin that for everyone else out there and break all of those unspoken rules, but honestly, if they legalised wild camping, wouldn't make any difference. You wouldn't suddenly have an upsurge of people doing it. Yeah, oh, it's the new thing, oh, it's the new trend. You wouldn't, honestly. It would be the same stupid, crazy people doing it because we're not scared of doing it, and that's what it is. It's fear. Fear is what's holding a lot of people back from wild camping, because they think they're going to get knifed in the dark, or they're going to get assaulted by some weirdo. Honestly, it's probably one of the safest places you can be. The towns and the cities are more of a problem, trust me. Yeah, you wouldn't get a load more people if they legalised it. It would just make... It would still be called wild camping because it's still wild, it's not on a campsite. but it would just make it so much easier, and you'd have more peace of mind. You wouldn't have to be looking over your shoulder. You wouldn't have to be paranoid as, you know, half the time. There was one funny incident last night. So I was in the bivvy. I was just sort of getting myself ready to sort of start drifting off to sleep, and it was probably about 11 o'clock, and it's eerily quiet here. Like, you can't even hear the M11 motorway. There's literally, there's just nothing about. And then all of a sudden, literally, like, where is it? The bivvy's here, and it must have been here. Suddenly, just a deer started barking. Like that, just out of nowhere, and honestly it was right next to me, because I could hear its feet shuffling about, and it just come out of nowhere, and it made me jump. And I thought, what am I going to do? Like, it's probably more scared of me, the fact that there's a human there, or there's like an unfamiliar presence there. Yeah, I'm on its turf. So I just barked at it back a few times, and it sort of seemed to do the trick. I thought I could have got out, but I thought it's too much effort, unclipping the door of the bivvy, unzipping the bivvy, climbing out over the stuff. I just thought, nah. So I just shouted at it and barked at it, and eventually it went, after about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and didn't come back. So it went off into the field and was like barking there, and then it just stopped altogether. But yeah, it was close. It was literally next to the bivvy. Like, I could hear its throat like change in pitch and tone. It was going like, you could hear where it was struggling at one point. It was like you know, I thought it was going to lose its voice at some point. It was just so quiet, and it just suddenly started, and it was right next to me. It was like it had snuck up on me. But it was shuffling about, it was moving about. It was, yeah, I thought, is it going to trample me in the night or something? I've seen a couple more people walk past the footpath since, so it's only a matter of time before they latch on. Let's play a game. Can I be spotted or not? See you in a bit. Just 3 to 4 miles to go in that direction to Linton. We'll be home and hosed. It's enough talking. Let's get walking. See you in Linton. This part of the Icknield Way, like the east side of the M11, like Great Chesterford to Linton, is so much quieter. There's far less people, but I can see why Ben said to camp this side of the M11. It's definitely paths less trodden, let's say that. And this fog, this mist, has just not lifted. But it's nice to be out walking in the morning. It's refreshing, it wakes you up. Although I'm going to be asleep later today when I get home. Like yesterday really tired me out. I was just sat in camp and I was like, oh my god, I feel like a wreck. There's a trig point just through there. There, just by the side of the ditch. Award for the worst walking shots goes to me, Tom Outdoors. My tripod broke yesterday, one of the legs fell off it and it's irreparable, so luckily I had this little cheap selfie stick that I bought for £1 from Poundland, and it's just, I've had to make do with that. I've had to really start getting creative and figure out ways to try and get walking shots. And that one just now, to walk past the Welcome to Cambridgeshire sign, I spent about 10 minutes setting that fucking thing up, okay, so you better appreciate it. I had to have the camera facing backwards, upside down, on a bent over the wrong way selfie stick, propped up by the map case on the floor next to some questionable mud that smelt like dog shit. But I got it just about. Walking past Linton Zoo now, which apparently I went to when I was a child. My mum said, I went, oh, I'm walking to Linton. She went, Linton Zoo there? I went, yeah, I know. She went, you've been there as a kid? And I went, don't remember it. So I've never been. Yeah, I think that's one of the main claims to fame for Linton. That, and it's also got a clapper style. A really rare form of style. And there's only 7 of them left in the country. It's just off of the Icknield Way, so I'll probably show you that in the next section, the next video. I'm not doing any more walking now to go and find it, but yeah, apparently it's pretty cool. Linton Zoo is open all year from 10 AM to 7 PM or dusk, and houses an interesting collection in an attractive 7-acre garden, and it has a cafeteria. Adults £12, seniors £11, children aged 2 to 13 £9.50, babies under 2 free. Well, they're not going to appreciate it anyway, so what's the point? You just take them there just because they can't look after themselves. £12. I don't agree with zoos anyway. The name Linton is Saxon in origin, meaning flax town. The town occupies the same site as an important Iron Age settlement of the same period as Wandlebury Ring Hill Fort nearby, which produced pottery of a type also found in Oxfordshire. The present-day town is well worth a look round, as the High Street has a number of listed buildings and is designated an outstanding conservation area. Back in the car, as you can see. Done the walk, done the camp, we're all sorted. That is the longest section of the Icknield Way completed, 18 miles. I was just really surprised that I managed to do that yesterday, or well, I must have done at least 14, I reckon 15 miles, but today felt a bit longer. I reckon I've easily done 3 miles today, so yeah. But it's good. I'm glad that one's over with. That was a tricky one, and camping in the end turns out it wasn't actually that bad. It just meant I had to walk a hell of a long way the first day in order to find that spot, but it is what it is. In the summertime that wouldn't be a problem, but because of winter at the moment and it gets dark early, it would have been more of a challenge. So because I think I would have struggled finding that spot in the dark, whereas because there was still a bit of light left, I could find it. 45 miles left to go of the entire route. Linton marks the 65-mile mark, which is good, so well over halfway. 110 miles in total, remember, so yeah, I'm pleased with that. All the animals are kicking off in the zoo, you can hear them. It's a pity the Richard can't do any more of them, but that is what it is, that's life. But I wish him well. Alright mate, you didn't miss much on this one. it was really good fun doing the first like half of the Icknield Way with Richard. It was really good. So yeah, and I did dedicate one of those ciders to you as well, mate, because he said raise a glass to me, and the other one dedicate to Ben as well. Ben, thank you very much, mate. Just met you. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you've been an absolute legend in just helping me with information about finding camping spots, and of course bringing me the ciders. Yeah, it's just been really helpful. And finally, of course, to everyone watching, thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this video, this walk, the camp. It's been good. It's been tiring, but it's been good. So yeah, cheers everyone. Take care of yourselves, look after each other, and stay safe. I'll see you on the next one. See you later. Bye.